Today we're going to talk about the origins of nationalism and its effects on modern society. First of all, we need to define nationalism. Nationalism is a belief or way of thinking that shows pride for the uniqueness of a person's own country and its loyalty and value given. In the late 18th century in Europe, nationalism rose by inspiration. It all started with the enlightened principles that began in France. At that time, France was left economically unstable by all the war expenses. Bad weather was present and ruined the harvest of the year, which caused hunger in the lower classes. The ancient regime was established, in which were three categories. The first state was a clergy, referring to the church and religious members. The second state were the nobles, and the third state were the commoners. These groups were highly unfair since there was social injustice between them, especially in the third state. And while all of this occurred, Louis XVI lived in the Palace of Versailles, with Marie Antoinette spending money and gambling in parties.
Due to the injustice of the ancient regime, the third state formed the National Assembly and made the Geniscourt Oath that established to form a new constitution. This was the beginning of the revolutionary spark, causing the seize of the Bastille, the abolition of the ancient regime, the proclamation of the Declaration of Rights of Man and the Citizen, and the moving of the monarchy to Paris. All of this shows how it awakened people and it affects in the power of uniting, and that it can make a difference in society and revolts, while rallying all for the same causes: liberty, equality, and fraternity. After many drifts in the government from the Jacobins and Robespierre to the Committee of Public Safety, people united for a coup d'etat, placing Napoleon as their leader chosen by its citizens. This also reaffirms the endless search for a stable government with justice, one which people would identify and know they look for people's best interest equally by following the Enlightenment principles using radicalism to represent nationalism.
This wave of nationalism spread across Europe, triggering revolutions and industrialist thinking, boosting economy and society, searching the best for the community. Napoleon fit in as a nationalist, since he desired unity and proudness for his country. He thought that French deserved more than was given to them, and thought they could win Europe. The desire for more power drove him to what we call a radical nationalist. He inspired indirectly the Latin American colonies to seek for independence. The promotion of his ideals is represented as fighting for their country, prideness for their culture, and uniqueness in personality and values. It can be used as a form of change like Italy that ended in a clash of cultures, making them unite for their foreign country, and even if this failed, it reaffirms that nationalism can be used as a form of change. Nationalism can be called a social glue that holds together people of different groups into a single defined population, linked to a geographic territory. It is a force that groups people together that tends to maintain the human race, competing in many ways between them. In the past centuries, there have been leaders that created a spark for nationalism, some of which are Gandhi, that sparked the Indian nationalism. He united a nation by using his non-violence philosophy and provoked crucial pressure on the British. He organized the oppressed people and raised the belief that they should rise against the current government and do what is best for their country. Nationalism is represented in the century by the belief of the American dream in the United States, the Nazi Third Reich, the ethno-religious protectionism of Israel, and the totalitarian self-reliance of North Korea's Dutch. When nationalism is taken to an extreme or radical use, people tend to excuse violence and justify their acts against others. Also, Donald Trump, along with Vladimir Putin and Narendra Modi, are seen by many people as a sign of modern nationalism, since they want to change the way of thinking of their countries. They are neo-nationalists that are against Muslim, free trade, and globalization, in a world where military power is more important than diplomacy and compromise. They all promise prosperity and economic dynamism. They've sold their society patriotic nostalgia, the idea that it's necessary to return to their country's golden ages.
In the recent days, the Brexit is one of the most famous nationalist movements of the 21st century, since the UK claims that leaving the European Union will improve their economy, since they are not taking that much benefits from the European Union as the Union is taking from them. This ideology has been shaping the world since the beginning of the time. Nationalism has been used as a force of change throughout the years to improve society, fight for justice, and unite people for a common cause. It is also shown how it has many side effects, such as revolutions in many aspects, liberalist waves, inspiration on each individual, and knowing the potential in inspiring ideas. Even though it doesn't maintain a certain belief, since it changes according to time, we can conclude that it searches for the common benefit equally in a country, promoting the love for it and keeping in mind that each individual should care for their country.